What's happening, world? B Marsh Boxing with another video. So, according to Bob Arum has said that the fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, the third fight at the trilogy fight, won't happen on July 18th as the projected date that they had before this COVID-19. You know what I mean? I'll read you some quotes. Bob Arum says, "Quote: Clearly not. Fury Wilder 3 won't happen July 18th. We we don't even know if the MGM will be open by then." End quote. Let me read you some more quotes from the man Bob Arum. Quote: "You could not guarantee the fighters that the event would take place on the date July 18th. We couldn't convince them or ourselves. When were they going to train for it? It just made no sense. You just had to take a step back. How are you going to sell tickets? It's absolutely ridiculous to say the fight is on when the Brits can't even get there. So everybody has to take a step back. Boxing is not isolated. It's part of what's happening in the world. So possibly the fight will happen in early October." End quote. Bob Arum also, in this particular article, has talked that he's been in contact with Al Heyman about pushing the pay-per-view event back. And Bob Arum said, quote, "Al and his people are in touch with us all the time on this. We see we see things the same way. We'll be very, very cautious moving ahead and pray this will be all over at a particular time, and we will be able to make smart plans. Nobody has ever experienced anything like this before." End quote. So there you have it. You know what I mean? Even before I made this video, I was saying to myself, man, this COVID-19, this coronavirus is really buying Deontay Wilder precious time to reflect on what happened if he hasn't already. You know what I mean? Really and truly, we haven't seen Deontay Wilder in the public eye, the public spotlight. At least for me, I haven't heard from Deontay Wilder since that video he came out saying, "Your king is back, etc." Whatever. You know what I mean? Or your king will be back, whatever. But this COVID-19 is really buying the man Deontay Wilder precious time. You know what I mean? And I think that's going to be a plus. It will work in his favor. I'm not saying that it will beat him, but it's like an exam. You'd go like you buy take your bar exam to become an attorney and a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Some people might be very confident going into it. Some people might have butterflies. For those who have butterflies, what I'm saying, they might have taken the test previously and failed. You know what I mean? Now, for those who have butterflies, you're getting an extension. You're getting an extension, an extended time to go ahead, get into your books, study your bar exam. Same goes for the man Deontay Wilder. You know what I mean? Gives him a opportunity to work on his craft. You know what I mean? Tighten up everything that he needs to in order to be more successful. And the same occurrence shouldn't happen to him if he's more prepared like it did in the second fight. You know what I mean? I believe Tyson Fury took that same concept of buying time, not going into an immediate rematch with Deontay Wilder when the fight was proposed. Took a few tune-up fights with Tom Schwartz and Otto Walling, got himself back in the groove, got himself a new trainer, and psychologically he was back in the mix. You know what I mean? And he had an agenda, you know what I'm saying, and a game plan that he wanted to execute, and he did just that. So, in my opinion, this is actually good for Deontay Wilder. Buy the man some time for him to work on his skill set, you know what I mean? Because really and truly, what happened to him in the second fight, getting ragdolled, getting pummeled and mugged from pillar to post, you know what I mean? The man had no balance, getting dropped with body shots. At a point in time, was he didn't even have balance, was and fell all on his face trying to grab the man Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? Kind of almost like a football tackle. How Bermain Stavern tackled him, Deontay Wilder, in their first fight when Deontay Wilder was on the verge of knocking Stavern out in the fourth round. So this is good news for Deontay Wilder. You know what I mean? It can only work in his favor as far as him working on his craft and his skill set. You know what I mean? He had a lot of holes that got exposed in that last fight. You know what I'm saying? And I will be rooting for Wilder again. Don't get it twisted. I'm sure, the Deontay Wilder fans, thinking that B Marsh has jumped ship, man. B Marsh don't do that, dogs. If I'm a fan of a fighter, unless they do something egregious where I can't roll with them no more, like a guy like, let's say, Tony Ayala back in the late 70s, early 80s, even though I wasn't watching boxing at the time, but what the type of stuff he's doing, of course I can't ride with you no more. But just from a boxing perspective, man, it's not that serious, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna keep making videos trying to keep harping on what happened on that particular night with Tyson Fury and Wilder. To me, that shit was over with by Saturday when I watched the fight again two to three times. As a matter of fact, I watched that fight again yesterday because ESPN showed the whole entire card, every single fight from the Fendura 6'6" super middleweight. I'm sorry, super welterweight to Emmanuel Navarrete to the Charles Martin versus Gerald Washington and Wilder fight. I watched the whole thing all over again. You know what I mean? So, Tyson Fury, this could help him as well. You know what I mean? Maybe Tyson Fury, you know, it could help both guys, to be honest. You know what I mean? So we'll see who's be more prepared. Barbarian is proposing for October. Time will tell. We shall see. To me, as far as this coronavirus is going on, nothing is promised. You know what I mean? Nothing is promised. As I wake up every day, the death tolls only get higher. So we're in a, excuse me, we're in a state of limbo, and who knows when and if that fight will happen. That's what I've said for the previous two other videos I've done today of proposed fights. If and when it will happen, only God knows. Time will tell. Be March Box, leave your thoughts and comments, and I'm out of here. Deuces.